Just a podcast underground. Cheap minds buzzing, webcams blurry. Put it out there, no need to worry. Fine K66.9 is no joke. Audio so rough, makes your ears choke. But they keep talking, voices ain't broke. Budget keeps microphones stroke. We ain't got cash, just passion black. Audio crack. Rock this podcast. Crack the podcast. Crackling audio, background invite. Authentic sound in the dead of the night. Listeners tune in, nothing's ever tried. Raw and pretty, not pristine or light.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Budget Podcasting with Clay and Kevin. I'm Kevin. This is Clay. And we do have a special guest with us tonight. We have Mr. Red Cabin Acoustics himself. How's it going, man?
Good. Joe T's. Most of the kids around here call me Joe T.
Joe
But
T.
Joe is fine.
All right, Joe it is. I say names how I see them on screen because I'm never really sure how people want to be presented. So you signed in as Red Cabin Acoustics, so I was going to call you Red Cabin Acoustics.
That's cool.
I'm going to call him Joe. I like Joe.
I like Joe too. I do like Joe. All right, guys, let's see who we have up in the chat right now. We got Know Your Joe and Live Stream Consultants. I hope you guys are having a good, fantastic Thursday. Clay.
What's up, everybody?
Joe, how's it going? Are you having a good week?
Joe.
Oh, me first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
No,
been
he
a-
was asking how your week's been.
It's been a stressful week, but it's winding down. So, yeah, I'm glad to be here, and I'm going to work hard tomorrow and try to get some time off over the weekend.
It's so nice in the headphones having him on the show.
It is. It is. He makes
listen to that voice.
makes me sound like I got a cold or something. Oh, all right, guys. We're going to be spotlighting the AKG P120 tonight, and we are also going to be talking about room environment, about when you go to podcast for yourself, to have a space for yourself, because you don't want to be going into a room that's gonna send off bad vibes, a room that you don't want to be into, a room that you don't want to be associated with. You want to have a safe space for yourself, because if you're in a space that you don't really feel comfortable in, it's going to come across on screen as well, and probably in your voice. So we'll talk about that a little bit later. I do want to spotlight this microphone right here. This is the AKG P120. How does it sound? I think it sounds pretty dang good. This microphone you can pick up for like $80 on Amazon. Amazing deal.
I thought they were more than that. I never even looked up AKGs.
The price just came down, and you can get them for half of that used. So,
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get into the used thing. That's where I got the SE 4100. Well, it's not used. I don't think it came new in like new packaging, but I got it for like, I don't know, $100 and something less than normal off of Reverb.
Yeah, I think if you can pick up something on the secondhand market do it, because a lot of times it's going to be, if it's a well-made microphone, it's probably going to be just fine. Like,
Yeah.
I picked up my Rode Pod mic secondhand. I picked this mic up secondhand. I'm all about that secondhand market for microphones.
Yeah.
Me too.
I got to learn some more because Joe's always talking about it. You've said it before in comments about getting stuff used, and I'm always like, but I'm lost. I don't know where to look. So I'm getting there.
And it depends on the area. Like, if you're in a very rural area, you may not have a lot in your general area. That's why there's places like OfferUp, to where it'll kind of like search the entire country. Even the Facebook Marketplace, you don't have to put it on local. You can put it on shipping, and it'll go worldwide.
I keep finding good deals on headphones on Facebook.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have different feelings about Guitar Center. So I'm not a Guitar Center shill, but I'm also not a hater. But they have a used section on Guitar
Yeah.
Center. So
Yeah.
A buddy of mine's he keeps telling me that. He's like, you should go check out Guitar Center. And I just,
yeah,
it's
they've
a
got
drive to get to one.
no, I mean used on their used
Yeah.
market, and then they'll send it to you.
Oh, all right.
Online. Yeah, online.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because what they do is all the stores will put all their used stuff online, so you can see what's used in all the Guitar Centers.
Yeah, they got a microphone I'm looking at purchasing right now. Don't ask me the name of it. I can't remember it right now. I'd have to type it in my phone. But it looks really cool, and I want to see what it sounds like, because it looks like something that I would have fun customizing as well. So, and I like to do that. So. All right, what do we got? We got, let's see, live stream consultant saying time to rock this party, guys. Anthony Lewis is in the house.
What's up, Anthony?
Got second to the last piece of paperwork in today for the business. One more with the state and then the county business license, and we are fully official. Congratulations, my man. That is awesome. That is really cool. All right, guys, let's spotlight this microphone real quick, shall we? The AKG P120. I don't have many slides on this because there wasn't a lot, and what I did find is kind of hard to read. Audio frequency bandwidth 20 to 20,000 hertz, sensitivity of 24 MV. This is a condenser microphone, so I am having to use 24 volts of phantom power, and Clay is not even in here. Hold on. No, it's not all right, buddy. Let's see. No, you're not. There you go.
There it is.
Go. Yeah, those are the specs. I'll let you guys read it. I'm not a big spec person. I just know what I like that sounds good. I can't even read this part. I put it in there, and I'm like, I debated. It's a heavy duty microphone. That's basically all this thing is saying. It's just a heavy duty microphone. So yeah, this thing is actually built really well. It does have a little bit of heft to it. Again, condenser microphone. I'm able to move around a little bit and not lose a lot of depth in my voice, because it's not a dynamic that needs to be right up on me. So yeah, this is my AKG. Joe, you're using an AKG, aren't you?
I am. This is my latest used purchase. It's a P17. It's the exact same microphone as a P170, but this comes in the drum session kit. Yeah. So I just decided to try it out since we're rocking the AKG tonight. The one interesting thing about the Perception series and the P series, for people who might be interested, and they might get one used, the threads on the bottom, I know there's no standard threads, but they're a common thread. So the same thread as the other P series and Perception series mics, the same as the MXL mics. So if you have a shock mount, you are likely to have one that fits that. It's not one of the really rare ones, like some of the Shure microphones are impossible to get shock mounts for. It's also a 2/3 diameter diaphragm, so it's right in between a small diaphragm and a large. It's a medium diaphragm condenser, so it's got some of the good qualities from both.
Right.
So this also does have a 20B cut, 20 dB pad, and a high pass filter switch on it as well, which I find to be really cool. I'm not going to test them out because I'm not going to be hitting the switches while I'm live. I just don't want to hear that click.
Dunk. It's like
Yeah.
a dunk. Yeah. Yeah. When I was testing the SE41, that's the noise. It's like a hollow, like a loud drip in a big tunnel. Dunk. Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So Joe, the mic you're using, it's the which one was it again?
P17.
P17. It's a pencil microphone,
Yep.
correct?
Small diaphragm condenser, 1/2-inch capsule, talking past it.
So you could almost use that as a shotgun mic out of frame a little bit if you wanted to, couldn't you?
Yeah, this is actually pretty loud. It's fairly sensitive for what it is. A lot of people do. I think Aiden Wolf, Dark Corner Studios. I think he demonstrated that, and he did a lot of videos, or a couple of videos at least, on the 120 as well.
Very cool. Let's see. Anthony Lewis says, do a lot of mics come with adapters, or do you need to buy a specific separate adapter?
Most come with something. If you're talking about where you're mounting it to your boom arm or your mic stand, if that's what you mean, Anthony. A lot of them come with like that little, I don't know what it is, 3/8 to 5/8 or whatever, that little adapter.
Most of them do come with a little adapter. I believe that this one did come with a shock mount as well. I can't find it. This wasn't meant for this one. I just made it work.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of microphones. Yeah, you don't really need a shock mount for everything. But I would say condenser microphones, especially ones this style, you need something, because if you're going to bump your desk, that's going to go right into the microphone because they're pretty sensitive.
Yeah, there's always a lot of discussion about whether you need a shock mount or not, and I've always been in the opinion of, if you're doing it live, that sucks to be you because you just bumped your microphone. And if you're recording something and you bump your microphone, you do a second take. So it's not that important. The time it's most important is probably if you've got a lot of rumble in your house or in your room. And if you're wondering about that, put your ear against the wall, because a lot of that low frequency rumble is below our threshold of hearing, but it still gets into the microphone. But if you put your ear, I'm going to put this on. If you put your ear on the wall, you can actually hear how your house is shaking. So it's one of those
I've heard that.
things.
Yeah.
I've heard that, but I've never actually done it. It makes
Do
me
you
want to.
ever live in an apartment?
No.
I live in an apartment. My ear is always against the wall whenever like the neighbors are fighting. It's like, oh, what's going on?
You'd be surprised how much rumble you actually can hear from your
You can instantly
from your dryer or your refrigerator or your heater, any of those things, or traffic.
Yeah, the house absorbs it and resonates it.
Yeah. Live stream consultants. The one I am looking in, the Electro Voice Raven dynamic mic from the early 2000s. It's really cool looking, and not a lot of them out there. They do make a condenser version called the Cardinal.
I have a Cardinal.
Oh, you have the Cardinal?
Nice.
Yeah, it was it was a special mic that was done with Electro Voice and Blue, I think. It was a special crossover, and I have the Cardinal. It's interesting because the outside is actually wood,
Oh,
and
cool.
yeah, it's down the hall. It's in
That's
my
neat.
yeah. I have the Cardinal, and it's red, Cardinal red, and then the
Yeah.
Raven is black.
You know, that makes perfect sense.
Yep. Fitting.
Either black or purple, it would have been perfect. Yeah.
Well, since it's wood, you could always sand it and restain it.
This is true. This is true.
See, that's kind of neat. You can make it like that cherry color, that oak. That'd be
I've
neat.
seen a couple wooden microphones, and I want one really bad, but they're usually pretty pricey.
How are those with sound resonance? I would assume really good. I'm kind of pointing this towards you, Joe.
I'm sorry. I was looking up because I thought it was. I was just trying to look because I thought it was an Electro Voice somebody crossover. What was that about resonance?
I was no talking about like the sound resonance in a wood built microphone. Would it be better or worse?
It's pretty good because it adds more. There's a lot of density there, and it
Yeah,
doesn't.
that's what I was
And
thinking.
remember, you're talking about the funk noise. You don't
Mhm.
have the wood doesn't ring in the same way that
Right.
a metal shell of a mic does. Yeah, yeah. I have to bust that out sometime. It's heavy, so you almost have to hang it. Talk about shock mounts. Here's this. And everyone hates these unless you're a DJ and you're shuffling discs or albums or reading the news or whatever, and then this is what you want because you're always moving your microphone.
It's and then it's up out of the way too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But me doing this, I prefer the low profile. I don't want anything hanging down. I'm on camera, so I don't want to hide my background. I like my microphone to come up from the bottom.
Oh.
You don't
like
want to
that.
hide that
Yeah.
beautiful face. That's what it is.
I mean,
Oh.
yeah.
No, it makes perfect sense. And that's the thing is there's no right way to do it. The right way to do
Right.
it is the way you need to do it to get your job done.
Whatever works for you. Yeah.
Yeah, but
Exactly.
I've got this huge board in front of me and you have to have it hang.
Right. Right. 'Cause you're-
And that's the same with microphones. There's no right microphone. It's whatever microphone works for you within your budget. So yeah, I mean that's. What am I missing? Oh, I'm missing the music. There we go. I felt like we were missing something. I just couldn't remember what it was. Oh, nope. That's the wrong thing. That's the level up with Mike Newman thing again.
What do I got playing here? Get a copyright strike.
Yeah, right.
Although I pay the rights to stream, but YouTube doesn't know that.
There we go. Get a little bass line going. That's all we need. Just a little somebody hitting a little bass line. All right. So now what we want to talk about is the room that you podcast in. Like you don't want to be in a room that just you don't want to be in. You know what I mean? You want to come into your room to podcast, because if this is what you enjoy doing, you want to enjoy the space you're in as well.
Yeah.
Clay, would you like to elaborate a little bit more on being in a room?
Why I can? Why? Is there something specific?
No, I just feel like you may
So,
be.
I'll give you a good example. When I first started doing this stuff, I was in my kitchen.
Exactly.
I was in a corner in my kitchen, and I didn't feel like I could be me. I felt like I was inhibited because at any given time, I knew my daughter, my wife, or anybody could be behind that curtain, and they would hear me, or they might be heard on here. So I never felt comfortable. As much as it seemed like it seemed like I did, whatever. I was making my videos. That's where I started. It wasn't. And I'm so much happier now that I'm in a room.
Right.
And I've got the room set up the way I like it. Like I've taken care of treating all my surfaces. I have rubber mats on the desk. I've got, fabric in front of me, below me, around me.
So Joe mentioned something to me before we went on air. Joe, would you like to elaborate on something to sound treat that people may not think about?
I was telling them that I've got about 10 different places in this building that I can record in, and one of them is just a small office, and I've got an easy chair in it, and it's full of clutter and very little else, except the ceiling has clouds in it. 2 clouds that are about 6 inches deep, hanging down about 6 inches from the ceiling, and they cover almost the whole office. And then the lights kind of shine out from around the clouds. Anyway,
That's cool.
but so it lowers the ceiling a little bit, but you walk in and it's just calm. It's just very calm. I also have a booth that's overly damped. It's very dead, and your voice sounds really compressed inside. So I don't use that for a lot of things, but I do use it for some things. But clouds.
What are the clouds made of?
So
I'm going to be hanging clouds in here.
So what I did was for those clouds, I wanted them to be sturdy but light, and I was looking for lumber that was thin and about the right dimension. So I actually got what are they called? Fence planks, like dog-eared fence planks, like we've got
rungs.
Yeah, well, they're
not
except they're like 6 or 8 inches wide, but like 3/8 inch thin. They're not very thick because they don't have to be very structural.
A stockade fence.
Yeah, like a stockade fence.
Yep.
So I made a box out of those and then filled it with rock wool, stapled a layer of cotton over it, like a old sheet over it, flipped it over, and then put cotton over it, and then put another layer of something that was a little more attractive. So it's all enclosed with cotton, so I don't have to worry about fibers. And then just hung them from the drop ceiling. Yeah.
So are they what shape? Like, are they?
They're rectangles. They're big rectangles.
But
I thought you meant like white fluffy clouds.
Oh, well, you could do that too. You could do that too.
I was like, I want to have clouds.
But they're basically rock wool bats that are in frames.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you were telling me because a lot of people will treat their walls, but they'll forget about the ceiling.
Forget about the ceiling. Yeah, yeah. I mean, a lot of times if you're set up for mixing, they'll think about the walls and maybe that first reflection point from the speakers, but they don't always think about it for to overall treatment as the ceiling. Yeah.
Neat. Now I'm like, the wheels are turning. I need it. I think I've done a pretty good job of cutting down on the reverb in here, but
oh yeah,
I don't know. I think it would look neat to have some clouds up there. Maybe put some lights in them.
And one of the reasons I overly damped my booth is because above it is a compressor for air handling. So the booth is inside of a room. So I insulated the walls and then put treatment on the inside of the booth to try to keep the noise out as well as treating the inside. So it's
right
a bit much.
Right. That's actually a good idea. It's a booth inside a room. So you could have a man inside a booth, inside a room, inside a house.
Yep.
So live stream consultant says he's in the beginning. He says, I am beginning the room build as an addition to the house. We'll have a secondary wall to separate the house noise, 2x6 exterior with 1 foot foil back foam board, 1 inch foam, foil foam backboard as a thermal and sound break. I cannot read nor speak tonight, guys. I apologize. Been a long day.
Just having an iron deficiency tonight.
I'm having a senior moment, you know.
Senior.
I'm having a senior moment.
You're not a senior.
Oh, I tell that to the people who keep calling me wanting me to sign up for Medicare and stuff.
Yeah, I've got a studio build that I'm planning to do next summer if finances work out, in my property in northern Michigan, where the walls are going to be 7 inches thick and the studs are going to be offset, so there won't be a stud going all the way through the wall from outside to inside. The first stud will dead end into the rock wool, and then the rock wool, and partly because it's cold up there.
Right.
But I also want extra insulation to keep noise out. It's a very quiet neighborhood, but occasionally there's a wood chipper or a chainsaw or something.
I can hear everything outside the house here, and it's drives me nuts.
Yeah, I can too. Like, I'll have a car, I'll be in the middle of recording like a review or something, and my neighbor will drive his Camaro or Mustang or whatever it is. It's loud. We're down the road at.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I've heard, yeah.
Yeah,
It's loud.
Clay's heard it before. Yeah.
It's real loud. You're like, what? Dang. All right, hang on. Take a break.
Live stream said, "I'm still a young pup. Wait till you have been married 42 plus years." I mean, okay.
Yeah.
I can't argue with that.
Talking about
There's
being
no
married
argument.
as long as you've been alive.
Yeah. Oh no, I'm way older. Well, I'm not gonna say way older. I'm older than 42, but yeah,
I'm guessing 46.
I am 46. I'll be 47 later this month. This is my birthday month, everybody. Happy birthday to me.
As much as we know about each other, you would think we already knew that.
Usually, when Bark says something about being old, I make fun of him.
Yeah, yeah. I see you chiming in all the time. You guys ain't old. Was it you, Joe, that said something about what did you say? Something about decades? I have like so many decades over you guys or something.
At some point, I probably did. Yeah.
All right. I think we've hit all the talking. Oh, we do have a poll tonight. I forgot about the poll.
Oh, you better let them know. It's 26 minutes in.
Yeah, we do. It is, guys, when you're recording, do you like to record solo or with a partner? You can join this poll by hashtagging solo or hashtag part for partner. I guess I could have added 3 more letters to that, but
it's all right. You shortened it, made it easy on everybody.
Just make it easy. Hashtag solo or hashtag part. Yeah, we'll check back in on that a little bit later. I just wanted to put that out there for everybody. Me, I do both, and I like both for different reasons, but I think I like more doing it with a partner because sometimes I'll run out of things to talk about, and it's good to bounce things off of somebody. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's not even that you run out. It's just when there's more than one person, you can keep the conversation keeps moving. It doesn't hit dead points. You know, when you're by yourself, that's where you're cutting your, your takes. Like I had to like drum something up.
And when you're talking about recording, are you meaning podcasting or just working in audio?
Podcasting, you can interpret that however you would like. I would say just working in audio. I just put recording in there because it was easier to type out.
Yeah, I love doing radio with a partner, with different people. I've done, depending on the project, you get the right partner, and it makes it so much easier. During the summer, we do a marathon series. We do one band or artist all day, and I've done those solo, and those are tough. And you have a partner come in, and they can be a lot of fun.
It seems like it would be.
Because not only does it keep the show going, keeps conversation going, but you get different opinions as well. You get different perspectives and stuff like that. So it just makes it more of an entertaining type show, in my personal opinion.
Well, and just like here, you learn stuff, right? You get these little nuggets that other people know that you might not be aware of, and
this is very true.
You get to share.
All right, let's go back to the original there.
Yeah, and the 2 of you or 3 of you, whatever it is, you feed each other. It's just you keep it alive. That first podcast that I did, it was Monday for the business thing I'm doing. Mm-hmm. That was great. Like she loved it, I loved it. I'm like, this is awesome. This is just, and I can't wait to do more.
What kind was?
I'm excited. Yeah.
So like interviewing local business owners, and we're going to be pumping it out through a YouTube channel, but we're going to share links to that YouTube channel from that YouTube channel to local Facebook groups. And it's all like local business, entrepreneur, local professional based interviews. And in that interview, it's this person basically gets to do whatever they want to do. If they want to come on and promote their business or talk about something, project they're working on, then that's what we talk about. If they don't want to talk nothing about their business and they just want to talk about them, like who they are outside of it, and it's kind of getting to know them on a more personal level, then that's what we talk about.
Now, one of the reasons I was asking is the business school and I had a meeting last Tuesday about about setting up a podcast studio for them and doing similar. It seems like a similar kind of thing.
Yeah. It's something I've wanted to do for probably 4 years, and I never had a space to do it in. And since then, before I got this space set up, somebody else in town already started doing it. And we were going to have them as part of our show, and they were all aboard. They were like, yeah, let's do it. And then they backed out recently because of political reasons, because they didn't like one of my partner's political views. And we went, okay. So, we were trying to be open door. We were trying to be diverse. Now that's a challenge.
Yeah, right. It's interesting. I mean, I'm old enough to have seen how we keep reinventing the wheel. I get kids all the time. I don't want to go into broadcasting. I want to go into the podcasting. I go, it's the same thing.
Same thing. Yeah.
Exactly.
Different distribution, but the same thing. Yeah.
But
Livestream consultant says, "Dang, Joe's voice keeps rattling stuff on his shelves here." It's that low undertone, man. That deep.
And this isn't even a deep mic.
Oh.
Right.
This is a pencil condenser. It's pretty bright. So,
but it sounds good in my ears. I'm telling you that right now.
How far away could you have that and it still sound really good?
I don't know.
I've noticed that, like, when you get really close, it's almost too close.
Yeah,
that tells me that you could probably go a little further away and it would still sound great.
Yeah. See, I've never used this mic.
Really?
I just got it. I just got it from Guitar Center. I'll put it overhead and see what it sounds like.
Yeah, we'll do some on-air testing here.
Yeah, I'm tossing around the idea of having an out-of-frame microphone for some stuff, but I want to still have this sound. So I'm scared. I'm like, I don't know.
Okay. No, your Joe said, it's all in his mic. We know the real story.
That's probably too loud. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah.
So I can't really, I don't know if it's really pointing at me or not. It's hard to be my own boom operator.
You do lose a little presence with it being up there, but it's not, I still think you sound great.
Oh, it still sounds really good.
Well, it's completely raw too.
That too,
right.
Yeah.
It's raw. I haven't done any EQ to it.
So it's about,
and again, I'm not,
8 inches away from your...
It's hard being my own boom operator.
mouth.
But if you're interested in that, the other thing, AKG C1000S, I did a video on those. So those, I could go grab one too. But those come with, if you're getting it used, you might not get it, but they come with a little capsule, which makes it a hypercardioid.
Right.
It means that you can do that you can use it as an overhead as well. Part of the problem is they got a little noise in here too.
Yeah. Well, I can hear that. As soon as you got it away, it introduced a little bit of room noise. Yeah. But it still sounded good. That's what I'm talking about. I want to try to find something that I can put out of camera that's still going to sound like this.
Yeah. I mean, it's like everything. You got to practice and see what you can get out of it.
I saw somebody talk about using an SM57.
An SM57?
Mm-hmm. About using that as an alternative for an out-of-frame mic that kind of looks like a shotgun.
Dynamics are pretty tough to do that with.
Yeah.
Those usually want to be close, unless you're loud. One of the things about dynamics is, again, I don't like trolling people, but there's a lot of people just getting started. When you are, because of the weight of the coil and the moving coil microphone, if you're too quiet, you just don't get it to move very well. And I've seen people go, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know why people like the SM58 or 57. They're garbage," but they're talking into them.
Yeah,
if you sing into them. It's a very different ball game.
Because now you're projecting your voice a lot more.
When you project into those things, you really get a lot better sound out of them than when you're just talking.
So, Know Your Joe missed this. He's asking what mic you're using, Joe.
This is a P17, the AKG P17. It comes in the drum session kit. It's the same microphone as the P170, AKG P170.
And from what I understand, instead of if you're inside a slightly untreated room, a shotgun mic may not be the best thing, but a pencil mic would probably work better.
Okay. Yes and no. There's been a lot of people that do a lot of videos about that thing, and it's not that a shotgun mic is always going to give you a flutter echo or a problem in a room. The problem is when you squeeze that shotgun mic down, you get lobes on the side and you get a lobe on the back.
Yeah.
And if you're in a normal room and you're booming it overhead, you might get echo off the ceiling. You might,
Oh yeah.
but not necessarily. So
So is that why those types of mics shine outdoors?
yeah, because you don't have any of that.
Because
Exactly.
there's nothing above. Yeah.
Nothing to reflect back into the top or the sides.
Because you notice that they sound. You've seen people do like sound tests inside, and then they take it outside. And once they take it outside, you're like, wow, that's holy crap.
Right.
You know?
In sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, not always, but sometimes, depending on
Right.
Yeah.
It's
All
cool.
right. I
Mhm.
think we've touched on everything we need to touch on. Now we're just going to take questions and hang out and just
Listen
kinda-
to Joe's voice.
yeah, listen, Joe's boy. You wanna read us a book, Joe? Read the phone book for us.
It was the night before Christmas. You're wearing the hat. Come on.
I thought about
Good job.
I think that Christmas Carol is probably in the public domain. I thought about doing that this year, putting out a chapter a night or something.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Kind of
On
fun.
A Christmas Carol.
Yeah,
Yeah.
kind of fun.
That's cool. See, I want to do stuff like that, and then I'm like, I don't know, I'm not good enough, or
You know what? It's practice. By the time
yeah,
you
yeah.
by the time you got to the end,
Repetition.
I'll put my teacher hat on and say, practice. That's what it takes.
Hmm.
So
Bill.
now that we have you on here, we can kind of interview a little bit, if you don't mind. What you keep talking about the school that you're a teacher. What exactly do you teach?
Hold on to get my microphone slipped here. I've never
While
used
he's
never
doing that, I'm gonna-
I've never used this stand before either. Actually, it's a warm audio stand I bought on sale.
Oh, nice.
So I teach at a small liberal arts school, Baldwin Wallace University. I teach broadcasting and film. I teach a lot of audio, but also video production and stuff, which seems weird because I haven't. In 2002, the person that ran the radio station left, and I took over the radio station and got out of video and hired someone else to do the video. They just left, so now I'm going to step back into that a little bit. But I do take care of the campus radio station. I'm the chief operator, teach recording, teach mixing, but also I've taught film history and film production,
Nice.
and that's been trippy. And every time people talk about what they think they need, I point to people that I know that started off with handy cams or started off with NTG2s, and they're off doing bigger and better things now. But when you're young, you think you need to concentrate on your craft and not your gear. So
Yes.
so one of my students is pretty prominent in Hollywood right now, and he started off with just normal,
Whatever. Yeah.
Normal
Whatever he could get his
gear.
hands on.
right?
Mhm.
I mean, he directed the last installment of he did Creed 2
Oh wow.
Oh,
and the last Transformers movie.
Oh nice.
Transformers 1?
No, the last one.
Oh, okay, not the cartoon one, but the
No, live
Of the
action.
movie.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah, Rise of the Beasts.
Yeah.
And a lot of other things. He's written all kinds of things. But I've got students that work for NPR and work for all the sports teams in Ohio. We do a lot of sports broadcasting here, so we
Oh,
do
nice.
all kinds of stuff. Yeah, started off doing theater. My actual degree is in technical theater, sound design. I just asked if I was going to do design a show for the theater department this year. So I do all kinds of stuff, which is part of my philosophy. One of my philosophies is figure out what you love and then learn how to do it for everybody. So if you love audio, then learn how to do radio, learn how to work in a TV station,
Right.
learn how to do
It
theater,
kind of reminds me
learn how to do
of
voiceover,
Alan Watts, the speech that he did called "What If Money Was No Object." What you just said was very similar to something he said in that speech. I don't know if you guys have heard that speech, but it's definitely worth listening to. You need to if you haven't.
Yeah. But it's interesting because, earlier you say you consider me kind of like a professional, right?
Yeah.
But because I'm working with students, I'm working with people who are starting off all the time. So I'm perennially working with new students who have never held a microphone, who've never wrapped a cable, who don't know what XLR means, who don't do that. So I'm firmly entrenched in that space without having an attitude about the rest of it. But I used to love doing front of house mixing for jazz, for example. So
Nice.
I'm really digging the background music. But so yeah, I've done lots of. I've lived long enough to wear lots of different hats.
So I'm curious,
cool.
When did you actually get into audio, and what made you want to go down the path of teaching audio?
So when I came to this weird conclusion of just a couple of months ago, thinking, how did I get here? On my 14th birthday, my mom had a surprise birthday party for me, which was kind of unusual. But I had a rough childhood. My dad died when I was 10, went through a really dark time. And I thought that she thought that this would be good for me. And she had a surprise birthday party for me. And it was really interesting because I got a CB radio. And
That's nice, a CB radio.
And I got a stack of albums from friends. And I grew up in a very blue-collar household where we had an AM radio in the kitchen for listening to the farm reports. So I got introduced to music, but didn't have a lot of money. So it's like, okay, can I build speakers? Can I do this? So I had my CB radio, started with that, building antennas and that kind of thing, and electronics. And then I got introduced to music, and I loved music, still love music. And that led me to going into a vocational tech program when I was in high school in electronics engineering. I was going to go to college to do that. And then when I got to college, it's like, man, this math is just not fun. I loved physics. But to get into engineering, you had to take it all. You had to take chemistry and all this stuff. And it's like, oh my, it's just not fun. It's just not fun for me. So I changed over to radio, TV, film. And then I did some theater in high school, and I started working in theater and started doing sound for theater, and I acted a little bit. And then I graduated and I worked for a lighting design company because I did a lot of lighting. And then went back to graduate school for lighting design because that's what I did most of. So they were going to pay this, as a course assistant in the lighting program. And quite frankly, I was doing audio all over the place as a professional on the side. So I didn't think this might sound like I'm full of hubris, but most college programs couldn't teach me anything unless I was going to a really high-end college program. Most colleges I would walk into, I'd go in and I'd rebuild the place. Most of their gear was old and half broken. Same thing happened here. Most of the stuff didn't work when I got here. But anyway, so I did a lot of. I worked for a couple theaters doing lighting and sound, and some set design, and I went to visit my professor, before I went to graduate school, and he says, "I don't think there's not good enough good teachers." He just could have sort of challenged me with that, and I'd already been working as a roadie, and I'd been on the road for a couple of years, and traveled a lot. And I said, "Well, I'll try that." So I went to grad school, got a job, and started teaching. Ended up being the director of television at a university, and was there for a while. And then to move to the Cleveland area, people have said, "Why did you move there?" And it's like, because of the weather. And they laughed. And it's like, no, because I lived in Superior, Wisconsin, which was across the bay from Duluth, Minnesota.
Mm.
And up there, between the 1st of January and the end of February, there's always a 4-week section where it doesn't get to 0.
Yeah, no, I know it's
20,
nasty.
20 to 40 below at night, and it might get to 0 during the day.
During the day. Yeah.
And it's like that for like a 4-week stretch. And my
I
wife
don't
is
know how you guys can live up there like that. I need no snow. I'm a
Yeah.
Texas, Florida baby.
and my wife said, if we're going to start a family, we got to go somewhere else. So we came to Cleveland because it's got 4 seasons and it's relatively, it's middle America.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I've
Sure.
been here for almost 30 years, teaching various parts of production and working at the radio station. Yeah.
Very cool. So I pretty much answered. Wait, no, wrong question. I pretty much answered that one. Where is Joe located? So
Yep, that one got answered.
yep. Live stream consultants wants to know: do you have a ham radio license?
I have started studying several times and have been a long time listener, but I do not have a transmission license. No. Close, but not. I've never done the test.
I think Yo Cholo may have figured out the student that you taught, Stephen Campbell Jr.
Even Cable Jr. Yep.
Yep. Let's see. Livestream, man, can I relate to that? Had the same problem with Polytech College in the late 70s. Knew more about the class material than the instructor did. So there we go. I think we're caught up on the chat. I love your story. I think it's awesome.
Most theater programs that I've been involved with do not put enough emphasis on audio. So that's just been my experience. It's it's always been sort of the bastard stepchild of the lighting department. So
Wow.
When,
And it's vitally just as important.
yeah, it's in my opinion for podcasting, especially on YouTube. I think audio is more important than video, anything video, because I think the ears cannot handle.
They're definitely more sensitive than the eyes.
Yeah, it's more sensitive than the eyes. That's how I wanted to phrase it. Just couldn't form the words. Yeah, definitely. The ears are definitely more sensitive than the eyes. It can definitely handle worse fuzzy audio more than it can audio. Fuzzy video more than it can audio.
Right.
Wow, sorry about that. But yeah, does anybody else have any questions? My mouse just died.
Oh no.
My mouse just died. There we go.
What the woes of live. You got a backup, or can it work when it's plugged in?
I just banged it so the battery moved around in it. So kind of.
You're one of those guys with the hammer.
Well, it'll last till now, and once we
Hit it
get
with a
offline,
hammer. Tap on it on the side right there.
once we finish the live, I'll change the battery and it'll be fine.
Didn't everybody have that uncle? that just his solution to fixing everything was.
Did you tap it on the side? Yeah.
Well,
Reminds me of TV antennas. You got to hold the foil on it, put one leg up, and do all that for the old school TV antennas.
Yeah, well, I still use those. I still use them.
Yeah. It's like
Talk about banging on stuff. When I worked for Tobin's Lake Studios, we had one of the first computerized lighting control boards with memory, and it stopped working. And we called the place in Wisconsin, and the guy's like, "Yep, pick it up about 8 inches off the table and drop it." We're like, "What?" Just pick it up.
this
He
is
goes,
really what you're telling me.
Yep. And we did it, and
it worked.
And it worked. And I go, what is going on? He says, and these were the times where you had integrated circuit sockets. So you'd reset the chips back into the socket because they weren't soldered in; they were just pushed in.
And then he must have been like, "Just call me Uncle Ronald."
Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny. That's cool though. Especially that it worked.
So I'm curious, what do you consider budget, and what is your favorite piece of budget gear that you may use for DJing or anything that you may maybe not use on a regular basis, but you like to go to every now and again?
Oh man. So budget, I think that budget is obviously that's a loaded question. And I don't mean in terms of cost. I think it's like if you can get a $300 mic for half price, that's a pretty good deal. Like that kind of thing. But I've got two of these. For example, this is a Blackjack Onyx. I picked one of these up because of the form factor. It sits down on the desk. All the knobs are in front of me. The cables come off the back. It's made by Mackie. And I know I've got a Mackie board that's over 20 years old. It's just rock solid. Aside from the pots getting dirty, we beat the crap out of it and it still works fine. So I just picked this up. I use it all the time. I've made so much money off of it. I saw another one up for sale. I got another one, so I leave one in Michigan, and I've got one here. And because I didn't want to plug into our system here, I just threw it down on the desk. So that's one of my favorite things. But I also have a handful of these too. The Rode AI1s. If I see these cheap, I grab them. And I have a lot of these kinds of things because I have a lot of students, and they're like, well, what should I get? I go, try this, try that, So I collect kind of cheap gear. So you got a lot of MXL microphones. I think that's one of the things I'd like to do is I think on my channel is I'm going to call it the MXL Parade. And I'm just going to do kind of quick and dirty. These are the MXLs I've used over the years and I've collected over the years. Just to give people another voice, another choice on some of these things that they might not think of. Because I think MXL is, they're not great. But again, like we were talking about before, you can get a lot of great work out of a lot of MXL microphones. And I know a lot of people started off with MXL. So there's a lot of things. I think that you can find budget interfaces that are quality made, that are a little older. I'm a big used guy. Yep.
The 990. I really like the 990. I think this has a really nice. It doesn't have a lot of low end, but it makes my voice sound very natural. And I like that about that.
Yeah. I think that I got the V67, the V67G. I've got the pencil condenser version of the 67. I can't remember what it's called. I've got the 990, 770. I've got two different MXL ribbons.
I don't know how you remember what you have when you have so many.
Well, I don't remember all of them. But I've also been collecting them for, since the 80s, right?
Yeah.
And slowly collecting them since the 80s for different reasons. Like the other day, I think someone asked about the Bob Barker mic, and I chimed in and said, well, Sony makes one, and Marantz made one, and I have one. And I got it for collecting sound effects, and I still have it,
Because you can, it's like a wand.
Use the wand. Yeah, I used the wand for that. But I should do a review on that because I don't think anyone's done a review on that.
You should.
Or something.
I would love to see a review on that, to tell you the truth.
I've got that. The neat thing about, I don't know if this is true of all of them, but with the one I have, you've got the handle and the wand that telescopes, and it's got a mute button. So when you push the mute button, you can pull it in or push it out without going, you can make it silent.
Right.
But the bottom screws off and the capsule screws off and it becomes a lapel.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
That wand out of the middle, and you can use it as a lapel.
So I bet that's a good lapel.
For modern, considering I bought mine in the Stone Age, it's a little bit big for a lapel, but it still works. I've also got an old stereo.
Not going to be much bigger than like all the little wireless mics they have now.
Yeah, probably not. And I've also got the second mic I had was a Radio Shack stereo capsule mic. It's kind of the same shape as the MXL. Its handle comes up and it's like a cylinder on the end. And it's got two capsules inside, but you can rotate them so they can stick outside the front of the microphone, or you could hang it and use it as a side address because you can change the orientation of the capsules inside.
Oh, wow.
So that's kind of neat.
What is the Bob Barker mic again?
It's the Marantz. I think it's the ECM.
And Bill, if you remember on Bob on the Price is Right, he had that long, tall wand looking mic. It was real, and he held it like this, like, and he, yeah. So that's the Bob Barker mic.
Oh, it showed up on the Bob Barker show. It showed up on the Match Game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That microphone was very, very popular,
especially in the 70s, early 80s.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't remember the name of it or the model number.
and it was a Marantz as one of them.
Marantz made one and Sully made one. Yeah. I looked
If
at
you
last time we were on and people were talking about it, I just typed it in, it popped right up. There was someone that did a whole history of it.
if you had to guess, how many microphones do you currently have in your collection?
I don't know. Probably more than I'd like to admit.
There was a little bit of smoke that poofed out from behind your
No,
head.
I mean, I've got, but again, these are things I typically buy on sale or used, or I tried. I like the hunt. So I've got 2 blues. I've got a baby bottle. I've got a bluebird, and I've got another one.
I like the look of those bluebirds, man. I think they
Is
look,
that the ones that have like the little skinny neck with the round little?
yeah,
I made
lollipop.
I made a lot of money at the bluebird. I made some big voiceover money on the bluebird. It's one, and it was weird because I took it with me on vacation in northern Michigan, and I got a job. It's like, oh crap, what am I going to do? So now I travel with two MacBooks and 2 interfaces and a couple of microphones, because I do when I go up to Michigan, I go usually for a few weeks.
You can do 2 setups.
Yeah. Well, no, it's I'm not near any place that I could get anything else. So if one of my MacBooks dies, I have a second one.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. I'm only 6 hours away from here, so it's not like the end of the world, but but I also work when I'm there.
You don't want to drive 6 hours back if you needed it.
Right, but I monitor when I'm away. I monitor all this stuff as well. I mean, my cabin's not fancy, but it has internet. But I don't know. I mean, I've got. I should probably count. I've got all 4 of the King Bees. I've got the King Bee 1 and King 2, and Worker Bee 1 and Worker Bee 2.
So you had that big bass King Bee, the yellow and black one, to where that thing looks so huge.
I've got 2 of them. I've got one, and I have one, and my son has one. So yeah, I've got 2 of those at my disposal, and I've got 2. I've got to work. It's really weird because when you ask me, I own Worker Bee and Worker Bee 2. I own a King Bee and a King Bee 2. My son has a King Bee 2. But the radio station also owns a Worker Bee. We do a lot of voice work with the Worker Bee, and just in the office, if someone needs to do a quick promo, they'll just sit down at the computer and open up Audition and just do it.
I've been looking to try to find one of those on sale somewhere.
Which one?
The Worker Bee.
The Worker Bee. They're nice. They're really nice. The King Bees are nice too. I used to have a client that kind of really liked that microphone.
Nice.
Bars hard.
You mentioned, I don't want to get too far away from it. You mentioned Audition. How is that in comparison to others? Like, I have a MacBook, so I just use the built-in Logic Pro, and it's like overwhelmingly confusing for me.
So I got into, I started using Audition before Adobe bought it. It was Cool Edit 96, and then Cool Edit 2000, and then Cool Edit Pro from Centrillium Corporation. So I still have my original licenses from Centrillium that it can run on Windows. And the quality is just as good. The plugins, you don't have as many plugins with the old system, but then I moved over to the newer one. The nice thing about it is that you can bounce back and forth between a multi-track window and an editing window. And I don't think you have that with Logic. I just put Logic in my studio, so I've got to use it. I mean, I have been using it. And I think you can. I think there's.
It's very intuitive. It's a lot for me. I'm like,
Yeah, during COVID, when we were all locked down, I started using Reaper because my students could download that, but regardless
I've
of they had
heard
a
of
Mac
Reaper. I
or
just never used it.
it's Reaper is great and it can be easy. The problem with Reaper is that it's infinitely customizable. So when you
Yeah.
open up the menus, you go, "Oh my God, what is
Yeah.
that?"
Well, that's how I feel in Logic.
Yeah. Well, Reaper's worse. Reaper's worse. But the thing is, if you, once you get it set up to work with your stuff, then you don't have to do that, and you could just learn. Learn what you need to learn, and then when you can't do something, you go and find that tutorial. Reaper's
Yeah.
great. Reaper's great, and it's $60. You know, I'm a proud licensed Reaper
Reaper.
user. Yeah,
Or, yeah.
well, I want them to keep going. I know a lot of people that just keep evaluating, but I don't want those guys to go away because it's a really good option. So, and it's got a full flight of built-in plugins too. So,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Anthony Lewis wants to know, which do you prefer to run podcast program on, PC or Mac? I have never used a Mac, so I run mine on PC.
I'm on Mac, and if I had to choose, I'm gonna choose Mac just because of the experience that I had before this with a PC. But that doesn't mean PC is bad. It just means what I had wasn't good enough, and this trumps it by far. So,
and I've never produced a podcast live.
There you
Yeah.
go.
This is the first time my face has ever been on anyone's podcast.
I know I like that, and we
that.
get to claim that.
Yeah, exactly.
Mark,
And that makes me feel proud that you trust us for that.
Mark did take a selfie of us together. So at the end of one of his videos, he pops up the selfie of us. I think it was maybe the PL10 video he did. I'm not sure because I gave him a PL10 with a bunch of other stuff. So
Nice. So you are repping the Obscure Mike shirt. I do see that there. That's really cool. I do like Bark. Bark's a great guy.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, I think we're gonna go ahead and end this real quick. We're gonna check in on the poll. Check in on the poll real quick. See what it's like. I've totally enjoyed our conversation tonight, though, guys. Just
Yeah,
let it
the poll
update
is just
for a
kind
minute.
of.
Well, I think it needs to update. Well, maybe not. Maybe nobody's
Everybody's like, fuck the poll. I'm just listening to Joe.
I mean, okay. I
Yeah.
tried to poll.
Just messing with it.
what mic is that
What's that? Which who? Me?
on the poll? What mic is that on the poll?
Oh, it's
Just
an
an AI.
AI generated microphone.
All right.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you know what this one is? I thought he was asking me.
Maybe I should actually put a fine mic on there or something. I don't know. But anyways, Joe, I've had a blast talking to you, getting to know you a little bit more.
Very educational.
Yes, very much so. You
Why
are
not? He's a
more
teacher.
than welcome to join us on this show anytime you feel free or would like to, for sure.
If there's something I can contribute to, I will certainly be glad to do so.
All right.
Yes.
So update on channels real quick. My channel, I'm not really going to be putting out much tech reviews until January. I'm kind of taking a break for a little bit. I might put out one or two. No, I may put out one, only because I had somebody reach out to me. But other than that, there won't be any tech reviews until January. Clay, do you have any updates for your channels?
I've got a couple coming up, probably between now and the end of the year, hopefully too. But I'm also real busy with Santa, so it's kind of tough. Like, there's a lot going on, but I do have 2 tech review type videos that I'm working on. One's almost done, but.
And Joe, do you have anything on your channel? Because I think it's been a while since you posted anything on yours.
It's been forever since I posted.
Yeah.
It's been a rough couple of years, but I really want to get something up during the holidays or a couple somethings. They might not be really long or really involved, but yeah, I'll get something up over the holidays. Red Cabin Acoustics -- official.
If you do a holiday one, I think you need to do a camera shot that's like from the bottom of your nose down, and then it'll catch the end of your hat, so they'll know that it's like Christmassy.
Do the Tim Allen neighbor type deal with it. Yeah.
Yeah, except this way.
Yeah. Exactly.
That would be great.
All right, guys. Again, thank you for coming on, Joe. It's been amazing.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it so much. All right, guys. That does it for this episode of Budget Podcasting with Clay and Kevin. So for Clay and Joe, I am Kevin saying, if we don't see you again, thank you for being a friend.